This affects your life more than you think. You would do anything for this person. You think about them constantly. When they pull away, you feel a panic you can't explain. When they're close, you feel relief, not joy. You call it love. You're completely sure of it. But something underneath keeps asking a question you don't want to answer. So, what is actually going on inside the mind of someone who confuses attachment for love? Because the answer might completely change the way you think about relationships itself. Quick one. If you like content that breaks down real human behavior, follow for more. And if this hits, drop scene in the comments. Now let's get into it. Let's start with what most people get wrong. Most people think love and attachment feel different. They assume love is calm and attachment is obsessive. But in the body, they can feel identical. The racing heart, the constant thoughts, the need to be near someone. Psychologist John Bowlby spent decades studying how humans bond, and what he found was unsettling. Our earliest attachments literally wire the brain for how we will connect to people for the rest of our lives. That wiring doesn't always look like love. Sometimes it just looks familiar. Here are 4 patterns that consistently show up when attachment is mistaken for love. The first is relief instead of joy. When you love someone, their presence brings you warmth. When you are attached, their presence brings you relief. Relief that they didn't leave. Relief that everything is okay. Relief that the anxiety quiets down for a moment. That difference is everything. Joy expands you. Relief just stops the pain. The second is fear driving closeness. In real love, you move towards someone because you want to. In anxious attachment, you move towards someone because the distance feels unbearable. Psychologist Mary Ainsworth's research on attachment styles showed that people with anxious attachment don't pursue closeness out of desire. They pursue it to regulate fear. The relationship becomes a painkiller, not a connection. The third is losing yourself. Love asks you to grow. Attachment asks you to shrink. When attachment takes over, you start adjusting your personality, your opinions, your boundaries to keep the other person comfortable. Psychologist Eric Fromm wrote that immature love says, "I love you because I need you." Mature love says, "I need you because I love you." One starts with need. The other starts with wholeness. The fourth is mistaking intensity for depth. Relationships built on attachment are often intensely emotional. The highs are high, the lows are devastating, and that intensity gets mistaken for passion, for proof that what you have is real. But research on relationship psychology consistently shows that the most intense connections are often the most anxiously attached. Depth is quiet, intensity is loud, and maybe that is the most thought-provoking insight of all. Attachment isn't a flaw, it's a survival response. Your nervous system learned to hold on tight to whoever felt like safety. That is not weakness, that is human. But recognizing the difference between holding on out of fear and staying out of love might be the most important thing you ever do for yourself. Drop a comment below. Are you in your relationship because it brings you joy or because the thought of leaving brings you fear? I read every single one. See you in the next one.